first question I have for you, what are three things you want people to remember about NetSuite CPQ?
And NetSuite CPQ, first and foremost, is native to the suite. So those who are familiar with NetSuite know it's an end-to-end suite to run your business. And so the key thing to understand is that CPQ is just part of the suite and it works seamlessly with NetSuite's ERP, CRM, and commerce solutions. This is important because it eliminates the time and the cost of integrating CPQ into your systems. And it also eliminates fracture points in the customer experience, where if your CPQ and your other systems are not working together as well as you hoped, you might, for example, quote the wrong price, or you might not get the availability right. Because this is just part of a suite, it works from end to end. The other key things to keep in mind is that it works for all roles, so sales and customers. You want to expose your CPQ out, as well as your engineers who are setting up your solutions, and it works for all industries.
Excellent. So, and what do customers most often mention? What are the biggest benefits they get out of using NetSuite CPQ?
Well, I just mentioned the reduction of time and cost to integrate. That, of course, is a key benefit. But in addition to that, the three key things that our customers talk about are: one, reducing order errors because we're automating all of those different rules; two, faster sales cycles and more productive salespeople because it's easy for them to create that quote and get it out to customers; and finally, more deals and bigger deals. So if you're putting your CPQ out there, not only with your salespeople, but online, you can capture more leads. And with the types of intelligent recommendations that we embed within CPQ, you can also increase your deal size.
Excellent. And CPQ projects are typically not simple, right? A couple of things or homework items for customers have to be there, right? To make a project successful. I was just wondering, what are three tasks you think need to be done to make a CPQ project successful?
That's a great question. And the thing that I see most often is that customers really need to think about: what are your products aspects? What are the key features and options you want to offer? What are the rules? Often that is in people's heads. And the longest part of any project is figuring out those things and making sure that they get documented and that you can create your models appropriately. So the key tip I would have is think about that in advance. It'll save you a lot of time.
Now, I think that's a very good idea and it can really save some money, right? So now the next question is really NetSuite CPQ is based on the Verenia acquisition that Oracle did a while ago, right? So now, what questions do customers ask you most often these days about that?
Well, first, they ask, is it still part of NetSuite? As I mentioned, one of the key value propositions to NetSuite customers is the CPQ is just part of it. It is the same CPQ and it was always built on NetSuite. And so, yes, it continues to be and is even a closer part of the suite than it was before. The other question that we often get is, should I expose it to my salespeople or to my customers also? And yes is the answer to that. It's critical to give your salespeople those tools, but you can do that through the integration of CPQ and NetSuite CRM, that it just works seamlessly together. But you should also think about getting it out in front of your customers, and NetSuite CPQ and Suite Commerce from NetSuite also work seamlessly together. You can also use CPQ with other e-commerce solutions as well. So get that out in front of both audiences. Those are the key things that I think we hear most often.
Excellent. And since you already mentioned it, right? So e-commerce and CPQ, that has become more important over the last couple of years. What's most important? What makes the biggest difference for customers from your experience?
I think we can say that we have truly moved to a world of a buyer-led sales journey. So for a long time, we've been talking about how the sales process would change, but that's reality now. If you listen to, for example, Gartner's reports, you'll see that 79% of customers actually do research online before they buy. So it is critical that you're there and that customers can understand your offerings, giving them guided selling, giving them the ability to start playing with a configuration and explore your offerings and whether it would meet their needs. It's so important to being able to capture that lead and then ultimately convert that into an opportunity with those customers. So super important to not only have CPQ in the hands of your salespeople, but also get it into the hands of your customers.